YouTube! So, a 5-string bass. Don't see many of these kicking about up here. I do actually have a 5-string bass. I've got a 5-string Ibanez. Yeah, so I just picked this up yesterday. I might have actually, I'm uploading a video, I might put a video up of me going to get it earlier on. This is from a pal Taylor. So this is, the serial number is S99, which I think makes it Samick 1989. Right about there. In fact, I'm pretty sure it does actually, because my thing's 90. I'm pretty sure it's 89. So, Aria Pro 2 Magna series, made in Korea by Samick. Even it says made in Korea here. No neck bolt, so you get better higher access. I'm going to check. I assume this is just standard 34-inch scale. I think this bass probably came in 34-inch scale. There's probably a 4-string version of this. I kind of never really saw it. Wasn't really. Taylor's, any chance you can pick this up for me? So, yeah, I saw it, didn't really think anything of it. But actually, to be fair, getting a 5-string bass for under 100 quid is pretty good anyway. I'd never really noticed that it was a 5-string. Well, I did, but it passed by me. Wasn't really paying attention. Got a wee bit of work to do on it. Not much. I can't find my super glue. The nut moves. It just basically just needs super glued on. So all the strings are sitting just a wee bit that way. Still plays, but I mean, if you find super glue, basically just put it in the middle, a couple of dots of super glue, leave it, and then put strings on. It'll be fine. Had a couple of high frets which I've filed down a bit, just to make the B string play. But I didn't do any. I've left Taylor. I've left you with all the fun of polishing the frets and finishing off them. Just basically, it was the 11th and the 7th, 8th, 9th, whatever it is. That one. We're just causing it to buzz out. Action's set very low, which is probably partly to do with it. It's like E string on a bass. You need some action to give it a bit of. So yeah, instant reaction there. I think it was just that, just going, yeah. Got a cool looking bridge on it. Sort of slightly over engineered type thing. Look at the saddles. I've never seen ones like that before. Top loaded. Yeah. So, actually I was going to say the headstock shape, standard Aria fair. I was just going to point at this, but I realise I can't actually see it with my Thor sound. So, same. So they kept the same headstock. This is what, 82, 83, 83. So I mean, it's really only 6 years later, and you think, what did I do 6 years ago? And it's like, that doesn't seem that long ago. Things were changing a little bit. This is after the Japanese thing happened where they stopped making guitars in Japan, pretty much because something to do with exchange rates, where suddenly they became twice the price between 1985 and 1987 or something. The price of Japanese guitars just went through the roof, so it was very difficult for them to sell them, so they had to go elsewhere to make them cheaper so they could keep the prices kind of the same. Now, it must have been very difficult in 1986 to buy a guitar, and you go, I'll buy a Washburn Falcon. Yeah, why is it $800? Last year when I saw it, it was $500. That kind of thing. Yeah, so got new strings on it as well, so that's probably 25-30 quid's worth of stuff on it. So if anyone doesn't know what a 5-string bass is, it's a bass that's got 5 strings. So basically, I have absolutely no problem playing a 5-string, because all you do is, if you just ignore the low B, you've got a normal bass. So everything you can normally play is there, and it's the way it's. So there's a wee bit of a frequency loss just on the general idea of a 5-string bass. A B is a bit of a. That's very low. I mean, I do play the Sabbath band to a C sharp, which would be there. That's as low as, and that's me tuning the strings down to get that. You'll notice sometimes you've got to be a wee bit careful with literally just the frequency range. I mean, the reason that Leo Fender chose the P bass where it was is that's kind of as low as you can that's really as low as you can go with a bass string before it starts to get to that bit where you can actually hear the sound waves going past. Anyone who's played a synth will know this. Once you get so low, you can actually hear the sound waves going wong, wong, because it's such a low frequency range. You know, it's like fast woo, 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 ee, or kind of it's got down there, so you have to be a little bit gentler with that note. If you just thump it, it turns into a bit of a mess. So a wee bit clever. It's basically the idea is to get you more. It works really well because it's where it's positioned. So you've got you get your standard octavey things, your disco bass type thing. Well, you can do that and just move it down a string. So it's in the same relation than the other strings are. So you can all your runs, instead of playing, you can start there and go. Yeah, I made that sound much harder than it is. Turn all the bass off, all the treble off. Treble back up. I always tend to, when playing the 5-string, kind of more of a step in nice wee additional feature. Having the low B, you're sitting there playing away, and instead of having to go all the way down here to get your next note, you've got one there, instead of going. Instead of that, you can go that kind of thing, and more of a sort of kind of forget it's there, and sometimes you go, oh, I could use the low B in this bit, kind of thing. You want to raise the pickups up a bit. They're a bit far away. That's why it's not very loud. But I've also, which actually works out quite well, I'm worried about the speaker farting because bass is low. It's also got a J bass pickup. Actually, maybe that's making the low B a bit more there. I mean, I do have. I've got a few PJ type basses. To be honest, I don't really need that. I'm quite happy with it. Oh, that's just a good thing thinking about it. It's just got a standard bass pickup in it, so it doesn't have individual pole pieces for each one. I have seen P bass pickups for 5 strings that have got like a 3-string pickup and a 2-string pickup. It kind of goes to show that making the pole pieces line up isn't the be all and the end all. It doesn't really matter as long as the strings are within the scope of the magnets. I've noticed this, people are trying to explain to people that it doesn't really matter what you've read online or what other people think. See if you actually try like a Fender Music Master, which has like basically it's a Strat pickup with a smooth cover on it, so you can't see that it's 6 pole pieces. Whereas sounds great, but even though it sounds great, I've had that bass for 20 years, played it tons, still get people in the comments, you can't have 4 single, you need to get 4 poles, you need to do that, you can't do that. I read it in a book, and it's like, no. I did, actually my Ibanez bass, was it a GR something? I painted it stupid. It had jazz bass pickups in it, and I had to take them out, because see the jazz bass pickups, they weren't wide enough to pick up all the strings. Let's check this one is. That's not bad. But it didn't pick up. It didn't pick up the low B string really. It's like they've taken the 4-string one and not really thought about it enough to make sure that the magnetic field from the pickup was wide enough to cover the outside 2 strings. I also had a similar problem with a 12-string Hondo. If you get the 12-string Hondo Strat, a Fame series something, it doesn't pick up the highs and the lows at the same time. None of them do it. It can't do it because the strings are too far apart. They pick up magnetic fields that wide and the strings are that wide. So basically, what I did was buy hot rails, put them in it, because they've got a bar magnet. They don't care. A bar magnet doesn't care how many strings you've got in the middle, as long as you're within the between whatever the effective range of the pickup is physically. But I tried that. I was moving the pickups about. Now I could either have it, kind of move the scratch plate down a bit, and that got me the high strings, or I could move up a wee bit that got me the low strings, but you couldn't get them both because the pickup just wasn't physically wide enough to do it. It does have quite a wide neck, but it's not that bad. Where's my can't find my ruler. I'll just use this. This has got a thing on it. Just wonder how wide the nut is. Because at one point I had two 46mm. So it's a bit wider than it's normally about 42. So it's a wee bit. It's wider, but I had one that was a Squier Protone P bass, and the neck on it was like 50 odd. The nut was really wide. And I actually struggled a little bit with it, whereas my Ibanez one had like this. It's kind of like, okay, they've made it a wee bit wider to take the extra string, but not like going, right, well, 4 strings is this wide, so we'll make it another quarter bigger to take the other one. You end up with a like this. I know this is a 5-string, that's a 4-string. The actual carve's quite similar. It's just if you imagine taking the carve and just increasing it by 5% or whatever it is. Seems to be made of a really nice wood, the neck, so it's a really nice neck on it. I'm not super. I told Taylor I thought it was really ugly. It's not really that ugly. It's just kind of like a P bass. Okay, it's got that scoop there. It's very 80s, but apart from that, it's just a 5-string P bass. Sorry, PJ bass. Which I think Taylor likes that because he does a lot of the sort of. Which I, to be honest, don't like listening to, so don't play it very often. I can do it to that extent, but I never really went much further because not really any of the music I like has that in it. You get the bit in My Name Is Call Me Al by Paul Simon. That sound, yeah, it's fun. I can see it being fun for if you're showing off or just want to play and have look at this. But I don't really. It's got to be a very specific kind of music that you put that in, which I don't like, or I've not heard really, and I really love. Otherwise, I would have learnt to do it. Or when I'm playing, and I don't have a loud enough amp, that's like pure. Can't hear me. Okay, it is actually quite a wide neck when you start playing it up here. It's probably, well, it might be to do with the strings, to be honest. It's probably better than my Ibanez one, even though I did put massive pickups in it. I think it's still got the factory strings on it from 1999 or something. Well, 1999, so this is 89. I think. It could be 99, I don't think so though. Branded pickups. Yeah, so, I mean... The neck is, if anything, I would say needs a slight bit more relief in it. I was in a bit mad rush when I picked it up, so I did check, make sure the neck was looking straight and stuff like that. There's a wee bit of a... It's been dropped at some point, there's a wee bit of a... It's not a crack. The fingerboard's kind of looking like it's sort of separating off, but I don't think it's an issue. So really, and it's got the sort of sealed type tuners, the 4-in-1 headstock. Yeah, no, good solid bass. I think it was quite a good buy. Again, a little bit of word of warning. Taylor's like me, knows how to fanny about with guitars a wee bit. Just wee things like the nut not being on. That should really have been in the advert. Would have knocked the price down a bit because the nut's not attached. Which, yeah, 2 dots of super glue, it's sorted. But and also the high frets, so the B string wasn't working. I don't think it said anything about that in the advert. You know, literally, I was playing it going like, oh, there's something very wrong. It's just, and then it stopped farting when you get up to the 12th, and it's like because that fret was high and this fret was high. It's like, it's not buzzing anymore though. And before I go, I might as well put some super turbo distortion. See what happens when you. Well, it might be goodbye to the orange amp once it warms up. I think part of the slight spankiness of this is I think these strings are brand new. Somebody's basically bought brand new strings for it and gone, oh, it's buzzing. Because I think if this maybe like my bass maybe had the original 1989 strings on it, so they were pure dead, so they probably didn't fart because there was no treble in there whatsoever. Whereas now working fine, bit of a setup and ready to rock. I'm just saying there about the warning is about the whole idea about just buying it, and if you don't know what you're doing, I don't know if you trust the music shop, if you've got like a wee local guy, somebody like me kicking about, they could probably fix this sort of thing. You know, I don't know with the frets. It's still money to be added on, so your super bargain. Oh look, I got a 5-string bass for 90 quid. Oh, blah, 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 and it needs work done on it. Suddenly it's not a 90 quid, it's 150 quid. Very quickly, if there's something wrong with it. Electrically it's fine. A little bit dirty, but not minging. I don't really have the compulsion to immediately wash my hands and then change my clothes after playing it, which I get quite a lot with guitars. So there's that. Today I'm going to edit I'm going to stitch together the last Black Sabbath rehearsal, and I'm going to do a piece of wiring that's never been done before. I got a wee package from Josie Warman this morning. A wee bit disappointed from Josie. I didn't get I was expecting a sarcastic note. I obviously didn't realise it was me. On switches, the only ones you could get on eBay. Josie Warman, I think they're about $4.50 or $5 each or something like that. Because I've got an idea for a crazy guitar. In fact, before I put this up, I'll show you. It might be tomorrow's video. It depends how well I get on with it. I do still have to build the guitar, but but obviously you don't get any points for guessing who painted this. Yep. So what I did was, Jen had a lot of Strats, and I thought I'm going to take one of the boring ones and make something interesting out of it. So it got 5 pickups. Like, this bit kind of looks a wee bit like a basque apparently, or like I didn't know what a basque was, like a corset type ladies thing, and so I wanted to call this the Basking Shark with a Q. So what I'm going to do with this current plan is 5 single coil pickups, obviously. So the 3-way switch will just operate the 3 normal pickups completely as normal, and there'll be 2 toggle switches which will turn on this pickup and this pickup either, this is why I needed the on switches, either in parallel with the 5-way switch, which means you can just, whatever you're doing, you can just add in this pickup or this pickup in parallel, or in series. So this one would go in series with this, giving you a humbucker, and this one would go in series with this, giving you a humbucker, so you had like basically an HSH guitar. And I was thinking, because it's got 5 pickups, I can't live with the idea of not being able to have all of them on at the same time. So I'm going to put in a cascading mecha bugger switch as well, which knocks the 3 normal Strat pickups into series, so you get like one triple coil, triple bucker really. But then if you add in these 2 in series as well, you get a 5 coil humbucker. Just one of those things, having 5 pickups. Can you have them all on at the same time? Yes. Wanted to do that. So it's going to be fun. As I said, never been done before. I don't even know where I'm going to put the switches. Maybe actually just there would be alright. The two switches there, and then the cascading one there, and then I'll make that a high pass filter, because to be honest, you're going to need it if you've got 5 single coils in series. That's going to be muddy. Oh yeah. It's like, there's a, it's one of those things that's like, I was saying to the guy in the shop earlier on, it's like, yeah, it's doing something no one's ever done before, but no one's ever wired a guitar like this before, and it's like, partly because it's difficult, partly because no one had ever thought of it, and partly because it's stupid. Mad Malco guitars, not Malco guitars. Rock on! And like and subscribe and all that, please. And I'll press the button.